Welcome, welcome. This is the CyphaDen Chat. I am Tayamu Denku. That is the homie Roman. Tonight's special guest, Renee Humphrey in the house. What is going
That's
on?
me. Well, we're all glistening. We're all sweating because it's hot.
Uh,
That's okay.
yeah, so before we started recording, you had mentioned you had recently put out and published a novel. Let's start there. Let's talk about that and what led you to publish and put out this novel and uh yeah, let's start
Um,
there.
I have been a lifelong reader. Well, it all ties into the entertainment stuff because I moved to Hollywood at 16 uh, by myself, and but I actually had parents who care, which sounds slightly incongruous. Um, and so my dad, they would send me books because I dropped out of high school. And so my dad would send me books all the time. And that was like my solace in the insanity that I had brought myself into. So I saw something the other day. Toni Morrison said she read and read and read and read until she was 39. And then there was a book she wanted to read that she couldn't find, so she wrote it. I don't feel exactly. I read and read and read and read, and then I just felt inspired to write myself. Um, and I think there's a little bit of when you're writing a book, you're acting out all of the characters
Hmm.
as you're writing it. And so for me, it was a way to act all the characters without having to be in front of everybody and having everybody recognize you all the time, which as that started to happen for me as an actress, I didn't enjoy. So I put this book out. I finally did. My parents were actually very supportive, and it took me 10 years to write, and now I'm starting another one, probably take me another 10 years. But it just feels very, uh, it's super rewarding to be able to have done it and then have some people say they like it, you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
I feel
awesome.
that. Do you so I saw that you started jumping in the uh Comic Con, movie con world, uh probably more. I mean, maybe you've always done it, but maybe more frequently.
No, no, just started.
Do you also use that kind of as maybe your book tour as well, or is that kind of what it
Completely.
is?
No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. Because authors, I self-published, so plenty of authors have the big five behind them or all these other people behind them, and they say they still have to pay for their marketing tours. So it's an extraordinary opportunity for me because at these cons, they actually pay you to come. So yeah, I for sure use it as like, yes, this is the past and this is the present, won't you buy my book? Kind of thing. And it's amazing. It's an extraordinary opportunity. I didn't start doing it until maybe 2 years ago because MallRats turned 30. So
Mm.
I think, I don't know, I stopped being a part of the entertainment world for at least 20 years. So they probably couldn't find me if anyone asked. And then, or nobody cared till MallRats turned 30, and now they all seem to care. So great. I'll ride it out as long as it goes.
Well, we've cared about it this whole time, so it's never been anything. That movie's awesome.
Yeah. Um, what led you to step away from uh the acting world?
You know, this may come as a shock. It's not very good for you, Hollywood. It's I have so many thoughts, but there's this constant level of stress and anxiety that isn't good for anyone. Um, there is a brutality to it that comes with anything that makes a lot of money, that isn't good for you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And I wanted to be well. I wanted to be a healthy person, and I couldn't do that and be an actress at the same time. And it was very painful actually to make that choice. But I think it's the right choice because life is long, and I was only what 20 at the time.
Yeah. Roman, you got something?
Were you ever in any commercials as a child, or did you
Hmm.
just kind of? Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up in Marin County, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area, and my parents were directing and choreographing theater, musical theater, so I grew up doing that. Um,
Oh,
and San Francisco is a big hub for commercials and things like that. So as a little kid, yeah, my mom was driving me around everywhere.
oh,
I
that's
did.
cool.
Um, I did book a couple of them. Uh,
Yeah. Is uh so you started, so you did commercials early, and then you were in a lot of notable TV series. You did a episode on Seinfeld, in the
wasn't
heated.
actually ever on Seinfeld. I don't know why that's on my
Really?
IMDb. Yeah,
So you weren't on that, and it just says it's on there,
yeah. I I don't know who put it there. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what. There was one part that I think I was second choice, and they picked Denise Richard, and all I was told was that she had bigger boobs. You know, I was like, okay, that's the closest I got to Seinfeld. I don't know where that's. Everything else I was in my IMDb. That I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
so
there was
okay,
one.
so
Sorry, there was one that I heard, but I'm going to assume that that's also false. That you were in episode, had a cameo in Saved by the Bell.
No, that's true. That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my first job in Hollywood, actually.
Oh,
hmm.
all right.
At the time, they called it a two-line part, not a cameo, because it was my
Oh,
first
okay.
job. But
Okay.
yeah, now it's a cameo.
How different, or is there any difference in auditioning for TV roles as opposed to film roles, like movies? Or is it basically the same? Like is it like when you go in for a TV series or a show, are the is the audition process different from like movies, or is it all the same?
Well, the thing that is different is, or used to be, now everything has changed. Like I was in there in the early 90s and on, and the internet was just getting started. Like
Mm.
this would not have been possible, obviously. So I don't know what they do now, but back in the day, if you got far enough in a for a network TV show, um, then you had to audition in front of a lot of we used to call them suits or whatever, like the producers, the network people. You had to do that. And movies is was generally a smaller sort of thing. I mean, I think I never screen tested for anything, but I know people did. That would be, I guess, the equivalent of network. Going to network was a thing you would do. That I did. I think I did twice. I got one out of two. So, um, otherwise, no, it's all the same. You just go into a room full of strangers and, you pour your heart out and they tell you you're too short or too fat or too ugly. That's that's pretty much how it goes.
You were in two pretty notable films before Mallrats happened. I mean, smaller roles, but the French Kiss, right? Yes,
Mhm.
French Kiss and Devil in a Blue Dress. Did
Yeah.
did those roles help get to the Mallrats, or were those just roles that happened and then the Mallrats thing happened?
I think really what caused MallRats to happen, besides my sparkling audition, was that I was in Fun, the movie Fun at Sundance when Clerks was at
Mm.
Sundance. So I'm certain Kevin Smith saw Fun because he was there with Clerks, and then we won. Alicia Witt and I won the acting award that year at Sundance. So Sundance really spiraled everything else.
That's what's up. Uh, Yeah, so MallRats is awesome. Do you definitely gone way too soon? Do you have a famous favorite standout moment of working with Shannon Doherty?
I didn't really work with her on the set. No, I mean
Hmm.
we were all at the wrap party.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I never definitely gone too soon. I didn't know her.
How about standout, maybe behind the scenes moment of working on the Mallrats movie?
Oh, goodness. Well,
I know I'm taking you back. It's yeah, I know. Or if you can't talk about it, I understand too. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm a human being, so all the things I remember are the things I don't want to talk about. They're like, God, how could I have done that? Why did I say that? Oh my God. Um, yeah, I mean, what I do remember that was so stark and so different from everything else is that we were all children, basically. I was 19 and 20, turned 20 on the set. Evan might have been 24. I think there was nobody over 25 on the whole set. And it's unusual, for a studio movie or whatever. Um, so it was just kind of fun. I mean, we were just we're just a bunch of kids like living our dreams, and it was cool. And we may or may not have inhaled.
Do you think anybody thought that Mallrats was gonna be the iconic film that it is, where people are talking about it now?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. But it definitely had a huge, like it was a big deal because Kevin was a big deal because of Clerks and all, and it was the like 2 minutes of time when independent cinema was a thing again. Um, but then it bombed, and so it was like it was the big deal that wasn't. Um, so but then it's had this very long tail, which is quite extraordinary. In fact, my partner Trevor Furman, they just put out a video game, Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch.
Oh yeah.
Um, and like it's still go. I mean, and then obviously Kevin and Jay they're just everywhere. Um, it has a lot to do with the fact that Kevin is just an unstoppable force, um, and a remarkable guy. But Mallrats, yeah, people, I don't know, they love it.
Yeah,
They watch it.
I mean there's a lot of movies that um, you know, you get like the big critics or whatever that are say it's whatever in this, but then it's got these cult followings, and that's like
Yeah.
when I was talking with uh Finn, dang, I can't remember her last name, but I was talking with Finn about Tremors having a cult
In
following.
Wolfhard?
No, the
And
girl,
Carter.
Finn
Carter.
Carter, Finn Carter.
Yeah.
She played the main lead girl in Tremors.
Oh,
And when I
okay.
talked with her, we were talking about how that movie bombed, but
Right.
it had
Also, long tail.
but it still has a cult following that people
It's great.
love.
I love
You know
it.
what I mean? So yeah, and for me, movies like I don't really care about critics or nothing because I just like to be entertained. So if a movie entertains me, I'm all in. Like if it keeps me entertained. I mean, there have been movies I watched where snooze fest. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Uh,
right, of course.
but then there's definitely movies that keep me entertained, keep me interested. Um, you know, and like
Have you ever had a song in a movie?
I have not because I uh I don't know, maybe I don't know the right people or the licensing thing is
Yeah, yeah,
weird nowadays. Like it's probably way different from what it used to be. I
totally.
mean, a lot more people are so the cool thing about um the new age is the accessibility to things. That's the cool thing
Yeah,
about it, to where you can, like, anyone can do music, anyone can, like, now people are even doing auditions at their computer, basically. So, like,
I know. That would have changed my life.
and
I don't
and
know for better or worse, but it would have changed.
yeah, and it's just the accessibility is different, but it definitely takes out things as well. So in music, um, it makes it to where the industry, I feel, is oversaturated with things, and people's attention spans went from, oh, I can't wait for that album, and they're waiting for it and they're waiting for it, to their attention spans being this, to where I only want to hear a 2 minute song or almost a 30-second clip now, and then I'm changing it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
uh, but I mean, I feel like, I mean, movies as far as length though hasn't really changed, right? I mean, there's still
And
long movies.
we still, yeah, streaming hasn't changed that. I mean, streaming has changed episodic um, types of cinema, which we used to call television, which we don't really anymore. Um, that's changed a lot. Uh, yeah. So songs and movies, yeah, I don't know. They were always, you'd only get a little snippet anyway, but just curious since I know you're a fan.
Yeah, I had so we had recently talked to Keith Jardine, who started getting into acting after fighting, and he was telling me, he actually asked me that question too, and I said, no, I have not. And he was like, well, man, I kind of like your stuff, and maybe, and so,
Good.
I think independently, it's more of a possibility. In the mainstream world, I feel like
Yeah.
licensing is a bigger situation that has to happen to be able to get it there. But I think independently,
Yeah,
like with film and stuff, I think it's more easy to do. So I don't
for
know. Maybe
sure. For sure.
maybe we'll see what happens. But Roman, you got something?
What was it like working with Kevin Smith?
He's great. I mean, I still see him now at these Comic Cons, and
Oh, cool.
he's just a great guy. He's just like very nice, very generous, hilariously funny,
Yeah,
extremely smart. He's just cool, you know?
that's awesome.
Yeah. So at the time, they were very new. Like everything was brand new. So I'm not sure what it's like working with him now, but 30 years ago, um, it was it was I don't know. He was very particular about how you said your line. He's a writer, so he
Hmm.
wants you to, he had always had it in his mind. And I think a lot of actors, um, many will say like, "Oh, don't give me a line reading, blah blah blah." But with Kevin, people will be like, they'll try it a few times, and they'll be like, "Okay, just tell me how. Just tell me how to say it," and then he'll say it, and then they say it that way. You move on. Um,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know if he gave me any. It was a while ago, guys. We recently did. We recently did a live reading at his Chronicon, um, which was in Chicago in the fall. We read one
Hmm.
of his comic books. It was like Clerks meets Archie kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And so we did that live, and that was fun. And you know, he's just cool and funny.
Yeah. Do you, is there something that, so I mean, we've been talking Mallrats just now, but is there something, is Mallrats the thing that stands out for you as far as your acting credits, or is there some other role that you have done that stands out for you in your mind of what you've done?
I mean, Fun was really the biggest movie for me because I had the biggest part that
Yeah.
in a movie that was his. And also Devil in a Blue Dress you mentioned. That was really cool. It's also a movie that I like, you know, because you do a lot of things that you don't necessarily love, but I also really enjoyed being on In the Heat of the Night and The Wonder Years back in the day.
Oh,
Those were
cool.
that was very cool. I remember Carl Weathers introduced himself to me. I didn't know who he was, but then I found out. Um,
Wow.
so it was, yeah, those shows and The Wonder Years. And that was just what an iconic show.
Yeah, I remember growing up with that. It used to
Oh yeah.
always be
Yeah,
on. My grandparents used to have a tiny itty bitty TV in the kitchen, and I swear I feel like it would come on all the time around that time
yeah,
or something, and it would always I would the song would just always be stuck in my head because we would sit down for dinner and then we'd have that on and then it'd be right there.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
like
think I was on one of the last seasons. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I had to audition a bunch of times with that. You know, it was a different world. Now, the world has changed. The internet, social media. These Comic Cons are cool though for actors, like because you can make money, you can do something and then immediately go do these things. Not everybody's 30 years later. You know,
yeah, yeah,
some of
yeah.
these people are like, I was in Stranger Things and now I'm at a Comic-Con and they're raking in the dough and like good for them. It's hard. It used to be you didn't have that option, you know. I think it's super cool that they do now.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely like going to them. I'm a collector, so I got like I got like all this shit signed and stuff. I don't know. I'm a
Cool.
I'm I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a rugged hip hop person, but I'm like a super nerd too. Like I like got all this stuff.
Yeah, totally. I was it was so relieved once I like understood that I was a nerd and not a cool person. It like changed me. I was like, hey, now I can relax.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
I'm
Uh
in my art studio. You guys want to see my paintings?
Oh, I'd love
yes.
to. That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. There's one. It's hard. That one's big. You can see
Mm.
Wow.
just a little
Yeah,
bit.
really good.
So anyway, so I've been doing that too, which is cool. I've been actually making more money on paintings than books,
That's
um,
actually
Wow.
which
yeah,
is
that's
cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So were you always interested in painting and art, or is that something that came later on in life?
No, I was doing it when I was an actress in LA. Um, I just didn't do it like I didn't do it as a profession. You know, I just learned about it. Then I took about a 20-year hiatus and started up again during the pandemic.
Mm.
Um, and then just have been doing, finally had the opportunity to get a studio and take it seriously. And it's been super cool.
Yeah. Have you ever been to any of those? So I'm friends with Luke Chu. I had him on the podcast before. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but have you ever been to any of those underground art shows? Like there's like DJs and stuff. And he was telling me he goes to those sometimes to sell his stuff. He like does like this iconic bear art.
Cool. No, I mean, I maybe at one point in time, but not lately. I mostly we do open studios or sell over my website, or I get commissions. That has been very cool.
Oh,
I've had a few of those because I've been working in the wine business for the last 20 years. My brother started making wine, and we built the business together along with his ex-wife. So we did that. So now I work for a French and Italian wine importer, writing marketing copy, part-time. And so I know all these amazing winemakers. Anyway, one of them
oh,
commissioned me, he and his wife, this like legendary winemaker commissioned me to do a piece for their house, which I delivered in December. And so I've been kind of blending those two worlds, which kind of it's like I feel like acting and writing go together, the book and the movie stuff, then art. paintings and wine go together. So I'm
Hmm.
totally schizophrenic, but it's all right. I'm having fun.
Roman, you got some?
What like what is your favorite art medium? Like what kind of painting do you like to do?
Well, what I just showed you mostly was pretty much all acrylic except the thing on the easel, which I'm just learning how to use oil paints. And oil paints are awesome. I love what they produce, but they're so much messier. They stay wet all the time. And I recently got it all over my, I mean, it's messy. And you're just like, oh, come on now. So jury's still out. Like I I really like acrylic and oil. Oil's so messy. If I can get my shit together and not get it all over myself, then maybe oil, but I'm not sure yet because I'm not there yet.
What do you find as like inspirations that like kind of, where that that spark, for a painting?
Like
I know it
what to
takes
paint.
some.
Um, Quite often it's a photograph that I've taken. Like I remember
Oh,
when I was younger, when I was an actress and painting, I went out one day with a camera. We didn't have phone cameras, and I tried.
Hmm.
I'm cool. I'm arty. I can do this, and they were just terrible. Like back then, you had to know what you were doing with a camera, and I was not good at it. But now with the phones, I'm amazing because everyone's an amazing photographer. So I cap every now and then I capture a photo and usually or one that someone will capture a photo. And I generally work from that. Sometimes I've had ideas in my mind that now with the internet as well, you can like piece together references because I I don't paint just from imagination. I look at the photo and I mean I don't trace it generally, but I look at it and
yeah.
references in general are a lot easier to come by now. So, but
Yeah.
usually a photo I've taken.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, Roman's actually a super dope artist. He's just not talking himself up right now.
I do like
Knock
comic
yourself
book
up.
kind of like video game style art, stuff like that. Yeah. But
Awesome.
yeah. But the photograph too, I definitely get that. I'll see a picture, I'll see an image of something, and I kind of everything's always moving in my head. So that's part of the reason why I like to animate, just iconic photographs. Like every time I'm looking at a picture, I see motion. I don't know why or what it is, but I've just always been like
Sure.
that my whole life. So
Well, I think that's what you want to capture in your paintings or your still
yeah.
image art is some kind of movement makes it interesting. So you're just taking that one step further.
Do most of your photos that you take, are they mostly in California or are there really cool ones that you took traveling that you did cool pieces with?
Well, I'm putting a show together called California because a lot of
Mm.
them are from California. Um, but yeah, I have taken photos from so right now it's very California focused. I would love to once I get this done, maybe there's a next like Tokyo. I was just in Tokyo and had a
Oh,
lot of
Oh,
cool
cool.
stuff. Yeah. But yeah. So at the moment it's California. Uh, we'll see.
that's cool. Um, I'm I love traveling, touring. It's like one of my big things that I love to do. Is there uh is there a favorite place that you've been to?
Let's see. Well, I mean, I grew up in California, going to Hawaii some regularity, so it's kind of hard not to love Hawaii. Um, I really like Stockholm. Stockholm is a super cool place. I love water and boats and bridges, and so there's there's Stockholm is just a bunch of islands, so there's tons of all of that. That's a really beautiful. And my dad is half Finnish, so I they're not quite Scandinavian, but they're almost there. So I haven't yet been to Finland, but I'd like to go. Italy is amazing. France, I mean, I love I love traveling in general. But yeah, I really liked Stockholm. Have you guys been?
I have not really been much overseas. I want to do a lot more. I mean, I have my passport. I just haven't. I Most of my touring I do, like I've been pretty much everywhere in the US except California actually. That's like the only place I
Really?
haven't because so the thing is um I work a full-time job too with Roman. Actually, we work at the same place,
Oh,
uh
awesome.
but I just recently got my 5 weeks of vacation time. So
Okay.
usually I use like multiple weeks of vacation to build my tours, right? And California is so far that
Yeah.
in order to make that work, unless I would fly out there and rent a car and do this, but I have so much merch that it makes sense for me to pack it all in the car that I have and hit spots on the way out. So now that I have an extra week of vacation, it makes sense. So I do want to book one in the next year or two to make it out there, but I needed that extra week too because I feel like it takes a week
Yeah.
to get out there is like hitting spots on the way out, and then a week all the way down the West Coast, and then a week getting back is kind of in my
When you
mind of what it
all
is.
the way down the West Coast, you mean like Washington, Oregon?
Yep. So
Yeah.
starting up there, and then so like probably the first 4 days of the tour would be getting out that way, and then maybe day five would be what like Idaho maybe, and then head
Hmm.
over to the top. Was that Washington, right?
Hmm.
Washington, and then head down from Washington all the way down. I have tons of connects out there. I just haven't been able to utilize them to build the
Yeah.
tour to make it
Well,
happen. But
5 weeks, 5 weeks of vacation is awesome.
it is, and I definitely noticed the extra week because I have extra vacation days right now that I don't know what to do with. So it's definitely
All right. California tour is coming. You'll have to tell me about it.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, but yes, well, California. Uh, so yes, I've not traveled international, but California, since I've never been there, I need to know one of your favorite food destinations because I'm a big foodie. I need to know this for when I come out there.
Okay. There are so many amazing places. Let's see. What comes to mind as favorite? Um, well, it depends on how much money you want to spend. So if you want to spend an absurd amount of money, then Benu is a three Michelin star restaurant in San Francisco, and it's amazing. It's so great. It's so chill. It was just an awesome experience. Um, if you, most people don't want to spend an absurd amount of money on dinner. So, um, outside of that, um, it's really fun, either in their original spot or at the Ferry Building. The Ferry Building in San Francisco has all kinds of food stuff, but there's a place called Hog Island Oysters, that serves things other than oysters, but they have amazing oysters. They have amazing Bloody Marys, like the best Bloody Mary I've ever had. Um, so Hog Island Oysters. They also have a place in I think it's Tamales Bay, which is where they get the oysters from.
Hmm.
Um, but they have a few different spots. So that's awesome. And then my local favorite restaurant is called Via del Corso in Berkeley. Um, Corso, it used to be called Corso, and now it's anyway, got new owners, but it's awesome. We love them. They're the best. Corso in Berkeley. It's like our Cheers. And that I feel like I've arrived. That place is my Cheers. I'm like, life is good, you know.
Yeah.
It,
That's
it's worth
cool.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only like as far as the oyster place, I think I only like fried oysters. My daughter actually really likes oysters. Um,
They
I took
have
her.
to be super fresh. I didn't know I liked them until I went to Boston and I had some at some special oyster place, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Also, it's mostly about whatever you put on top of them. If
Mm,
they're raw, it's like the mignonette or the not horseradish, but cocktail sauce. Mostly the mignonette, the like vinegary, lemony shallot stuff, and then just don't chew, just slurp it, and then follow it up with some
Oh,
good champagne.
yeah.
And then there's nothing about oysters you won't like. Um, that's how I do it anyway.
Well, all right. I'm actually playing Boston on my tour in July.
Oh, yeah. I forget what it's called, but they're usually called like the Oyster Co. or something like, it's usually easy to find.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge lobster fan. So like anytime I've been to Portland, Maine, that's like
I've
my
never been there. I need to go there. That's on my list and I haven't done it yet.
yeah, Portland is awesome. And if you go during the summertime, um, right down on the bay, they have all these spots, but then there's this one place called like the Portland Lobster Company or whatever. And back in the day when I went there for the first time, it's definitely way different now because everything went up in price. But back when I went there in the day, and I don't even know if I told Roman this before. Maybe we've talked about it, but um, you used to be able to go to this lobster company during the summertime. They have like this party type situation going on outside, and you would go up with your order, and they would just give you. You can't really order things. You have to get the plate that they're offering that day or whatever. And the
Sure.
plate that they offered the day that I went, you get a full lobster, baked potato, and a tiny corn on the cob, $10. Because they
That's
would put
crazy,
because they pulled them straight out of
right?
the bait, and like literally like it's
Amazing.
it's more now. This was back, but
Right. But even now, if that was $25, that would be insane, you know?
yeah.
yeah, because I saw one of the biggest lobster tails I've ever seen in my life at this store the other day. It was like like a wild Caribbean caught lobster or whatever. And the
Mhm.
lobster tail was like this damn big. And I'm like, how can you like I'm telling my girl at the time, I'm like, I don't even think that if we shared this, we would be able to finish this
Yeah,
lot. And like I love lobster. So like I don't even think if we shared it, we would be able to finish this. But it was like
that's crazy.
49.99 a pound. And that thing was probably maybe 10 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, I'm like, there's no way I could even afford this. But yeah, crazy.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
want to go to Maine. I also really like tugboats. There's a
mm,
refurbished tugboat that plays prominently in my novel, which is called Summer Fruit, by the way, if
mm,
anybody's listening who likes to read. Um, so and I know in Maine there are like a bunch of tugboats running around. Maybe because of a little fishing. I don't know why, but like someone I knew who was into tugboats lived in Maine and told me there. So I need to get out there. And yeah,
yeah.
lobster's great. In fact, we had a we Trevor is a really awesome home cook, and my partner Trevor, and he we flew some lobster in from Maine and had a lobster roll party for our friends, and it was like one of the
Mm,
most insane. About 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago or something. That was a pinnacle of our you know dinner parties. It was lobster roll party for 22 or something like that. So it was pretty cool.
that sounds cool. That sounds like
Oh, yeah.
something shit. I need to.
Next time, if you guys are in California, let me know and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
come too.
That's awesome. Roman, you got something?
What are your inspirations for your book?
Well, I um There is some 90s Hollywood stuff in it. It's the whole book is fiction, but yeah, so there's there's some dark interludes from that time. And then I went to this writer's workshop off the coast of Seattle on Whidbey Island a couple of times, and that island was very inspiring. So the island, it's a fictional island, but it's based heavily off my experience there. So that was and then I weirdly, I'm just like a bit of a channeler. I think same with acting. So, and I'm not a woo-woo person. So I don't say this lightly, but it's strangely, I'm not exactly sure. They're stories that want to come out, and I am just sort of mouthpiecing or typing them now. Uh,
Well,
Yeah. So you said it took you, like, when you say it took me 10 years to make this book, is that like the real time frame? Like 10 years?
yeah, yeah, I probably wrote at least 10 different drafts of it.
Mm,
Um, I have some writer friends. My dad was a English teacher. He's an amazing editor. My mom was a editor for years for Charles Schwab financial stuff, but she's still so I have, and now I have a writing job. So I asked for a lot of help as far as like, um, here's what I've got. What do you think? You have to be very open, I think, to feedback because it's for an audience. So over 10 years time, I did it, gave it, did it, gave it, did it, gave it, redid it, redid it, redid it, redid it. Um, and then finally it just went into place. And I still wasn't, I was like, my parents were like, you should do it. My dad said, I've never read this book before, and I've read 17 million books. And so, and then they helped me, and I was like, okay. Um, yeah. So it was 9 years writing. Um, and then it was like 9 years and some change to get it out.
mm,
I took
yeah.
a little time off. You have to put it aside. You have to get some
Yeah.
distance, because otherwise you're too attached. So I think the final piece, like I put it aside. I got a writing job, a job writing, so I got better at editing. And then I went back to it. I was able to like cut it up better. Um, and that made the difference. I think becoming a professional in
Yeah.
the wine world of writing made me able to do it. Yeah. So now I actually I got a writer's residency in November that I'm going to, which I'll have 12 nights where they feed you and you get your own house and you get so I have a new book coming in, and the dream is that I write the first draft, to finish the first draft there. Um,
Mm,
so like the more you do it and the more support you get, then there are these places where you can go do it. And then the more support you get, it's long haul and nobody makes any money. It's really just about, I don't know, literature is just always, novels have always been my friends. So
I feel that. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world that say, and it's true in a lot of things that, books that become movies are usually better and in the book form.
yeah, yeah, because you have more time. That's what's super cool about how like series and stuff have become more popular. It's a much better medium to for a book. You have 20 hours instead of two, you know.
Hmm. Where can people get Summer Fruit?
You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on barnesandnoble.com, you can get it on bookshop.org, you can get it all over the internet. Outskirts Press is where I had it published. You can get it there. But Amazon's an easy one to get to. But if you don't want to order from Amazon, it's just go to Outskirts Press and type in summer fruit, and you can get it there too.
So, Outskirts Press. So how did okay, so when you're starting to write the book, you know you want to get it out to people. How does the outskirts press connection happen to be able to make that happen?
You just hire them. I have another friend who it's a self-publishing company where so what that means is they have all the ability to get it everywhere. They have all the ability to turn it into a good-looking book as long as you give them good-looking material. Like they have nothing to do with what's inside the pages other than what you give them.
Mm,
So all the proofreading, all the editing, all the everything you have to do yourself, and you better do it well. Otherwise, it looks, it's, it doesn't look like a professional product. But if you do it well, they can make it look like a very professional product and they can get it out in the world in a number of ways. And I have another friend she's older and has written several books, and she's just like, look, I don't have time to like wait for an agent to come to me and do like, I'm gonna just get them out there. That's an amazing part of, or like, cool that we have that now. Um, so yeah, I just hired them, and they said, great, send it. Yeah, they offer a bunch of options if you need help. Um, but yeah, I tried to make the connections, but then MallRats 30th anniversary was coming up, and I was like, look, I'm going to have this opportunity to sell this to people who care. Um, and so I also can't wait around for the literary community to decide to invest in me. And, you know, like I said, nobody makes very much money in this. It's all passion projects. And so um, I don't begrudge them that they didn't quite like get behind me yet. But now that I've made a book, it won an award. I've sold some copies. I now have like maybe the next book. They'll be like, all right, maybe we'll give her a chance. We'll see.
yeah. Yeah. I so I'm new to so like I said, I'm a movie freak. I've read books. I have done this. This is not new, but I'm
I
not
believe you.
huge but I'm not a huge I'm not I'm not a huge book reader. But you being new in the writing scene, and hearing that you went through the drafts and a lot of different drafts, uh, one of the main authors that I know growing up that has had a ton of movies made off his books is Stephen King. I feel like that dude writes like a book a month. How in the world do you think someone can do something like, does he not do drafts? Like what is going on?
Well, cocaine. He had a long problem with cocaine. That's not, I'm not
Yeah,
spilling
yeah,
the
yeah,
tea.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
knows. So that helps. Uh, and then he's just been doing it all his life. You know, if you're spending like you guys have a job that takes up a lot of your time. I have a job that isn't, it's not an art job. Think of all those hours that we spend doing these other jobs. If you were just spending the time writing or just spending the time painting or making music or whatever, then you have that many more hours to do it.
Yeah.
So once you get enough success that, or you are born with enough money, whichever it is, I think Stephen King has had enough success that he could devote all his time to doing it.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's how. And then also people work differently. Like some people are very prolific and some people take a long time.
Yeah.
Um, it just sort of depends.
Yeah, like it's like example in the music world. I have a friend, uh his name's Terrell. He goes by artist name Terrell X. He also is Carnage the Executioner, and he takes longer periods of time to write his verses or songs and create his albums. Whereas me, I'm a real good improv artist. Like I'm a really good off the top freestyle person, and I think that helps to where I write things fast. So
Yeah.
like we're almost complete opposites as far as artists. We're here take longer to put out projects. And I'm not a huge, everyone's like you're your own worst critic, right? So I, for whatever reason, am not very critical of myself. So I just put stuff out, and
Well,
and I have a home studio. I guess that helps to where I can create at any time. And I've been sound engineering and mixing and mastering for like 20 years on top of creating. So the thing that
so you can
sucks,
do it quickly. Yeah.
yeah, but the thing that sucks about doing that and not going to school for it is I don't have the certification because I would love to just be a sound engineer, you know what I'm saying? Like on
Mm.
top, like as a full-time job. But that world, you need the uh,
Right.
credit to be able to work in a professional setting. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they don't take you serious. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I knew a guy who I think he did a course at a community college. And again, this is a long time ago, but it was sound engineering course,
mm,
which he could do like on his own time at night or whatever. He was able to do that. So that could be
mm.
maybe there's an option like that because it's just a little piece of paper or the little, like you have all the skills. And I think the older we get, experience matters also almost just as much.
Oh yeah, definitely. My mom's friend who passed recently, um, but she was a nurse, but she didn't go to school because she
Right.
was a nurse younger, and back then apparently you didn't need the certification to be a
Yeah.
professional nurse. So yeah, definitely, things definitely have changed over the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've gone maybe a little bit full circle because so many classes, things have gotten people in debt in ridiculous ways where they can't get jobs. Like this idea of like maybe apprenticing or
Mm.
um, just learning on the job is getting more popular. And I hope that continues because that's the kind of person I am. Sounds like
Yeah,
you're like that too. Yeah.
yeah. Roman, you got one more question? We don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, do you have more books than in the works? Do you have like a lot of ideas for other stories?
Yes, I have. I mean, I have a lot of stuff that I already have done. And then I have a book that I'm in the process of channeling right now. Um, so may, maybe because I have this writer's residency, I have like some opportunity. Hopefully, I can get it done faster than 10 years. But yeah, it's totally different. Well, I think, unsurprisingly, like the books mature with you as so like one of my main characters in Summer Fruit is 18. The main character in this book is 40, and probably then, my next book she'll be 60 or whatever.
Yeah,
But yes, I have one in the works.
If
I
some,
was,
go ahead, bro.
oh,
Go
sorry. I
ahead.
was just always curious too, as just as an actress, like, is it hard or difficult to shake that character off at the end of the day? Like to when you're done with that role, is that something that you, or does it kind of just carry with you? I've always curious about that.
Yeah, Walton Goggins said something that stuck with me. I read a couple of years ago. You know who he is?
Yeah.
Walton Goggins. Yeah. Amazing, hilarious, awesome, great actor. He said, "Yeah, I love doing comedy because then you just laugh all day and you go home instead of, needing therapy after you've done it, the job." And that's it, like there's truth to that. So it depends on what you're doing, right? I think if I ever did any of it again, I would definitely go for comedy because
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to go back to therapy. I've had enough. I'm good.
I feel that. I mean,
That's awesome.
clearly everyone knows the sad story of Heath Ledger after playing the Joker role. I mean, so yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
could definitely see how roles can play with your mind and who you are as a person if you get so in depth with it.
Also, I mean, you're being asked to, another thing that someone else said to me once was like, most people spend their lives suppressing those worst feelings. Like, we don't want to feel the worst we can feel, ever, if we can help it. But we have drama and tragedy and all of these things. But when you're an actor doing a lot of drama, um, you're calling that up all the time. I think Trevor, he talks about The Shining, and you think of Shelley Duvall in The Shining, where she's just like hysterically freaked out the whole time. Amazing movie, but that woman had to be that way for however long that was, months.
Yeah.
That's like, that's a and then one more thing someone else said that stuck with me was Bjork after Dancer in the Dark she did, which I still haven't seen. I need to see. But she in some articles said like, yeah, I don't think I'll do any more acting. I don't think it's very good for you. I don't think it's a good for you emotionally. And I think she's right if you're the kind of person, which many actors are, like where you get so involved. But comedy, you know, I think the Righteous Gemstones people, they're just having a ball. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be into that.
that show's hilarious.
So good.
I also you spoke of Walter Goggins Vice Principals. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
amazing. Of course, I've seen them
Hilarious.
all. Yeah, we've seen all the Danny McBride stuff. They're just like so good. Just
Yeah, yeah. My last thing is if somebody approached you, it's probably gonna be yes, but I want to ask anyway. If somebody approached you with the opportunity or uh I guess opportunity to turn summer fruit into a movie, would you be all
oh
about
yeah.
that?
Yeah. I think it would be a better series, like a 6 to 8 part
Hmm.
series, because there's a lot going on. But yeah, in fact, if anybody's listening, that sounds great. I would love it.
Yeah. And if it did happen, would you so I saw a thing. I saw a thing. It might have been today, actually. Just you know, random scrolling. But there was, I think it was Seth Rogen that was saying how different casting is now for movies. But obviously,
I'm
independent
sure.
is probably different. And he was talking about how when they um did a movie back in the day, dang it, now I can't think of the movie. Of course I can't. But when they did a movie back in the day, they presented it. Uh, the people picked it up, the producers or whatever company picked
Sure.
it up, and then they gave them money for it, and then they were allowed to pick all their actors and who they wanted in it and everything like that. And he said, now, no way would you be
Yeah,
able to do that. Now you present it, they get it, and now they're going to grab who they want, who thinks it will be a bigger money
right.
draw as opposed to you getting the creative control of doing it. But I feel like obviously with it being your writing and your book, you would want involvement, right? And able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd have some kind of say. It's like we were talking about how the internet didn't exist back in the 90s when I was doing a lot of this stuff, or it existed, but in a very different form. Yeah, like everything is data driven now.
Mm,
Um, Problem with uh, art for commerce is there's no formula. Nobody knows when the next heated rivalry will happen. They they try to, the best they can do is crunch the data. And so I'm sure they're trying to, because the reality is these things are very expensive and
yeah.
people have to put a lot of money. So they don't, they want to do everything they can do to not have a flop, you know, to make their money back. And like, I get it. I would too. The sad truth is that Doesn't matter how much data you crunch. Nobody really knows what's gonna appeal to people in the moment. So that's where you have to like rely on the creative process. But we know when art meets commerce, there is a clear winner, and it's not art.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things, some of the throwback cult followings or things hit, and some things don't. So, like, Mallrats is making the 30th anniversary. The cult following came out, and they're like, "We're here. We're still here. We love this. We support this." The last Terminator movie I saw flopped, but I thought it was great. But nobody remembered what Terminator was.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Well,
So
yeah, that's because that's where when I said is a lot has to do with the fact that Kevin Smith has stayed involved and stayed
yeah,
relevant because of the comic books and all the things he's done, regardless of whether anybody thinks they're good or not. He's there. He's out there. No, just kidding, Kevin. But people, they he's still a cultural force, and so I think maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't at the moment. He was governor of California for God's sake, but he's firmly in the past, where Kevin Smith is still very much in the present.
yeah. Well, we appreciate you to the fullest on being
Uh,
on the CyphaDen Chat, which is presented by CyphaDen Music, where we inspire even those higher. And remember to never stop chasing your dreams, because you will never know what you are fully capable of. I am Tiamu Denku. This is my homie Roman, and tonight we had special guest Renee Humphrey, and we appreciate you to the fullest on being on the podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. Thank you guys. It was great meeting you.
You
I'll
too.
see you. I'll see you in
That was
California.
awesome.
Let me know.
Yeah, lobster
yeah.
roll party. I'm there.
That's right. Take two.
All right. Peace.
All right. See ya.